do we often react to the life circumstances, or do we often respond with well thought out choices? So in this story, I'm going to be sharing what Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, have actually experienced in his life. Okay, but before I start this story off, Pranam, Namaste. My name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Fengshui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I start the story off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. And it's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from, so feel free to comment in the comment sections. I would connect you within this space, okay? So let's start off with this story, okay? So CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, he was actually enjoying his cup of coffee in a restaurant, okay? So he was sitting there and suddenly a group of elderly women and men actually went and entered the restaurant, okay? So they were just sitting down and having their group gathering there, okay? Then suddenly a cockroach flew in, entered the restaurant, okay? So the cockroach landed on one of the elderly lady's clothes. And suddenly the lady started to scream and shout. She yelled very loudly in fear, and she stood up and actually flicked that cockroach, okay, in hope that the cockroach would be frightened away. So what happened was it set off a chain reaction. So everyone stood up in the restaurant and started to shout as well, making loud noises, creating all the chaos, okay? So the cockroach decided, okay, meantime the cockroach decided that it has enough of the moving platform. So it's actually finding that the lady was moving too much. So it decided to took off in the air, okay? And this time round, the cockroach landed on another lady's clothes, which is within the second person within the group, okay? So it was this time round her turn to scream and shout. She yelled loudly, then she screamed, okay? So again, this time round the cockroach find that it's still not suitable candidate, okay? So the cockroach decided to take off again. So this time round the cockroach landed on the face of the group's elderly gentleman's face, okay? And this time round the man screamed in panic, okay? And it was all hell's broke loose and it was chaos, okay? Absolute madness. So the whole loudness created the event to become an absolute mess and chaos, okay? So the waiter suddenly appeared and came into the room and was wondering what was the whole commotion. He was looking around and see what was the whole commotion all about, okay? And then this time round the cockroach decided to take off again. So guess what? This time round the cockroach flew and actually landed on the waiter himself, okay? So this time round the waiter was very calm and composed. He was like letting the cockroach crawl on his body, and he was not responding too much. He froze literally, okay, waiting for the cockroach to actually calm down as well. So the cockroach was at ease, okay? So the moment he saw the cockroach not moving too much at ease, the waiter immediately grabbed a piece of cloth and grabbed the cockroach, okay? And he took the cockroach out of the restaurant to release it into the air, and the cockroach actually flew away, okay? So Sundar Pichai was watching this whole incident and he was witnessing this whole event, okay? And he was wondering what was causing all these ladies and gentlemen to be so chaotic, and it was an absolute mess, okay? He was thinking, was it the cockroach? Or if it was the cockroach, then why did the cockroach not disturb the waiter as well? Okay, he was actually trying to figure out what's the whole commotion all about. Okay, then he realized that he realized a truth of life. I think this insight hit him. Okay, it is actually not the circumstances that come to us that creates the chaos, but our ability to handle them. He realized that it was all the ladies and the gentlemen wasn't able to handle the cockroach, whereas the waiter was actually calm and composed enough to handle the cockroach, and he was not in absolute fear. He was able to keep himself calm during the whole incident. That was why he was able to deal with the cockroach, okay, without causing any much commotion. Okay, so the next time, remember, okay, if you are caught in a traffic jam, okay, then you start to become agitated and you get very impatient again. Remember this, okay? It is not the traffic jam, but the inability to cope with the whole situation that's causing you to be agitated. Okay? And the next time, okay, you have your husband or your wife is actually shouting at you, okay, is actually raising a voice, and that is robbing away you, okay, of your peace. Okay, remember this again, that it is not your spouse's fault, and it is your own inaptitude in handling that situation. Okay, or similarly, in another situation, if you are at work and if your boss started to reprimand you, and then it's causing you a lot of disturbance and is robbing you of your joy. Okay, it is not your boss' fault, but your inability to handle his harsh words that are actually causing you these disturbances. Okay, so when you react to agitations on the outside, remember this: you are actually choosing to behave like a slot machine. So everyone knows what's a slot machine, right? Jackpot. Okay, you put in a coin, and then you either pull the lever or you press a button. And when you press a button, the emotion or the response will come out from the slot machine. Okay, same thing. If you are actually reacting and making you're reacting so quickly, right? You are forfeiting your ability to choose your own response. Okay, so know this: to live a life of purpose and manifest the highest potential in our life, it is needed for us to stop reacting to all the situations and instead choose to respond with well thought out decisions in order to take control. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this short story, and if you do, please remember to comment your learnings and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'm dedicated to make more videos of that. With that, I end off my video. Pranam, namaste.